Hey guys, I wanted to hop on here, especially for you, Margaret. You left a question on my post today, and that was you're struggling with finding where your target market lives, which is middle school and high school moms, and words that will convince them to do their shoot now. You rebranded when you moved just under a year ago, so you're rebuilding. You said you have your business foundation in place, which is great. And your goal is 4 shoots per month with an average sale of $1,500 for now. So I really wanted to hop on here because it was so much easier. Hey, Joan. It was so much easier to talk to you about specializing in portraiture for women than it is to type it out. So one of the keys to specializing in portraiture for women is really understanding their psychology and how they think. I love Sue Bryce. And we're going to talk about her model, how she has it, hey Ronnie, set up, and how I think that, hold on, there we go. Sorry, comments were in the way. And how that can work, and how it is kind of like you have to just really understand the psychology. So for women, and if women are typically moms, this goes for boudoir, this goes for glamour portraiture, this goes for even, business branding imagery, if you're doing business branding. So women who are moms, and how many of you guys out there are moms? Maybe I should just ask that. Type in the comments or raise your hand if you're a mom. Because this is going to go, you're going to go, oh, you're going to have an aha moment here. So I know at least 3 of you on here are moms. But anyways, yeah, Ronnie, moms are the most amazing, selfless people in the world. They put everybody else above themselves. They will spend money on their kids. They will spend money on their husbands. They will spend even money on their friends before they spend money on themselves. And when it comes to spending money on themselves, they have a huge guilt trip. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys go out and want to spend over $100 on yourselves, buy yourselves some new shoes, or do anything like that, you typically have this internal conflict and guilt over spending money on yourself. So when your ideal client is a woman, when you're doing photography, you have a huge hurdle when you're trying to convince women to come in to do a shoot with you, whether that's glamour, whether that's boudoir, whether that's even business branding, to have them come in headshots, have them come in and do a shoot with you because they're having to fight that internal conflict of, should I spend this much money on myself? Can I do that? No, I shouldn't be doing that. So you're having to fight against that internal conflict, and that is a really hard thing to do. So if you're specializing in photography for women, then you really need to understand that this is what is going on in their head, and the key is, how can you overcome that? How can you help address that? So I know Sue Bryce, and a lot of you guys follow Sue Bryce. I absolutely love her. I adore her. I think she's one of the most amazing human beings. But I do think that following her business model is a little bit difficult for all personalities and all people. She is very much well known in the photography industry, and that's where she's most popular and how she gets people to come in and do shoots. I don't think that she necessarily advertises now, to people like normal everyday women. I don't know that for sure, but I do know when I was watching her originally, she would go out and basically give her business card to the woman at the restaurant she was eating at. And not everybody has the personality for that and really likes to do that and go out and hustle and kind of push market. So I think that if you are really good at that, you have a great personality as far as being social. Everybody has a great personality, sorry. But as far as you love being social, you love drumming up conversations with people, and that's just something you love doing, I don't think that that's a fit for everyone. The other key to what she does is she has a very low session fee where she gets people in, and then once she takes the most amazing pictures they've ever seen of themselves, then that's when they actually buy. So getting women in at a low cost and then delivering the most amazing pictures, that's when they're gonna wanna open their wallets. That's when they're actually gonna wanna spend money. Because if you're a woman, then you most likely know that there's been times when you're like, yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a picture that I actually loved of myself. Like, I just don't take good pictures. This is what those women are thinking themselves. Like, okay, you have a $500 session fee or it's $1,000, but what if I don't like the images? I've never had images that I actually loved, so why would I want to pay for this before I've even seen them? So low session fee, and I think this is what Sue Bryce does, gets them in, and so you can use your skill and take the most amazing pictures they've ever seen of themselves, and that's when they buy. You're still up against that woman who doesn't want to spend money on herself at this point. So my actual suggestion for overcoming that is you can do payment plans so that they can break up the payments. But I find that when I did that, I just didn't want to be a collector. I didn't want to be chasing people and if their credit card didn't work, like be chasing them down for a credit card that did work or a card number that worked. So I actually love PayPal credit, and that would be my number one suggestion for you guys, is to have them go out and see if they qualify for PayPal credit. It gives you 0% interest for 6 months with flexible payments. So they can make payments whenever they want, or they can wait until the end of 6 months and pay it all off at day 179. So that means that you get paid in full upfront, and then they get flexible payments without having to pay more or pay interest, which typically if you're doing a payment plan, you're gonna be adding on interest because it's money later instead of money now. So it's a win-win for your situation. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to put them in the comments so that I can answer them. But the keys to specializing in portraiture for women, this also goes for boudoir, by the way. I work with a lot of photographers, and especially boudoir photographers, because that's what I specialize in. But I have seen that a lot of people are so passionate, me included, about doing boudoir because of the effects that it has on a woman. The confidence booster, the way that they get to see themselves in a new light for the first time, and the way that they walk out feeling more confident. The impact that it has is the impact that it has on their life is absolutely just the most remarkable and rewarding thing. As you can tell, I'm so excited that I can't even talk. But the impact that it has, even glamour, like when a woman sees herself in a whole new way, and she's like, I have had clients that cry, they shriek with, like joy. I didn't realize that I could look that sexy. Oh my gosh, I am beautiful. Those are things that I hear, and I think you can hear that in glamour. I think you can hear that in headshots. I think you can hear that in boudoir. But the key being is that they don't come in and pay for that. You're gonna have a really hard time. Women who just gotten divorced and they're looking for that confidence, they don't have to ask for permission of where they spend their money. They might come in and do a shoot. People who've just lost a whole bunch of money, they might actually do that for themselves and reward themselves for the hard work. But when it comes to moms and it comes to women who are married and they have that internal guilt of where they're spending their money, it is a hard hill to climb into convincing them to come in and actually do a shoot with you. So even for boudoir photographers, what I have found is the reason why women spend so much on boudoir photography and why you can have a boutique boudoir business is because they tend to justify doing it, even if they want to do it for themselves, even if it's something they've always wanted to do, they will justify doing it because they're going to do it as a gift. So if they can think, okay, I'm going to give this as an anniversary gift or a groom's gift or a Christmas gift, then they will justify spending that money because they can justify spending money on their husband, on their friends, on their kids. They just have a really hard time justifying spending it on themselves. So hopefully you guys found that helpful in understanding who your ideal client is when it's a woman. and understanding how to help them get over those hurdles of being able to spend money on themselves. And those would be a low session fee. Get them in, give them the most amazing experience. Make sure that you've mastered your craft. Make sure you've mastered your skill. Make sure that your artwork is finalized in the editing field. So the difference between a photographer who just got a camera and is shooting and a professional is one who has mastered their skill, one who has a portfolio and an editing style that is consistent. So blow them away with images, and then they're going to buy them, because if they see the most beautiful images they've ever seen of themselves, they're going to find a way to pay for them. And those two ways are they pay in full, or they have a payment plan or PayPal credit. So those are my keys to specializing in portraiture for women. I don't see any questions that you guys have, so hopefully that was very clear. Margaret, I hope that gives you some insight. I have some other suggestions for you as far as website. I took the liberty of just hopping over to your website, and I have some suggestions for that. If you happen to want to do a one-on-one coaching call where I can give you some clarity on what I would suggest you do, feel free to reach out to me. But otherwise, I hope this gave you clarity on how to specialize in portraiture for women and how to overcome that hurdle of convincing them to come in and do a shoot. So hope you guys have a good rest of the day.